came back again. They said, boy, you won't make it. The Most High said different. Why I said amen. Let's go. From the red clay roads where the lights play low, Lil Sean had faith even when the funds were low. Grandma sang hymns with a tear in her eye. Told him, baby, stay strong, the Most High gon' provide. Mama and stepdad holding on through the rain, turning life's hard pain into a lifelong game. He packed them dreams in a Navy duffel tight, but even in the ocean he still had to fight. Yeah, still had to fight. Yeah, he been down like Joe, the roads like down, hands up high, still thanking the Most High. On the young, he lost some years, but he gave them back tenfold. Grace on the grind, that's a story well told. Yeah, restored again. Can I get an amen? Restored again. By the grace of the Most High, amen. Let's get it. Yeah, got out the service world, moving strange. Tried every hustle, but faith stayed the same. Folks laughed when he said he filmed his grind. Now 500,000 sold to his shine. From a cracked iPhone to a whole production. He ain't chase fame, he chase instruction. Every praise God coming to see that group. Prove that what the Most High start, the Most High will see through. Let's go, amen. Sometimes blessings take a long way home. Sometimes pain gotta make room for hope. Joe lost everything but never lost faith. Sean lost sleep but gained amazing grace. And the Lord restored Joe's fortunes when he prayed for his friends. And the Lord gave him twice as much as he had before. Job 42:10. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He been down like Joe. People roll like Joe. Hands up high, still thanking the Most High. On the young, he lost some years, but he gave them back tenfold. Grace on the grind, that's a story well told. Yeah, restored again. Can I get an amen? Restored again. By the grace of God. Amen. Now grandma smiling her golden years. Mama and stepdad wipe away them tears. What was broke is blessed, what was pain is peace. Faith don't fold, multiply the feast. Hey. Yeah, restored again. Now that's a righteous perspective. Yeah, restored again.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. I'm your brother Wise, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I hope all is well. Grace and peace to each and every one of you guys on this fine Tuesday morning. We back like we never left. Appreciate you guys pulling up. I hope all is well. If you could, please hit the like button on the way in the building. That's the only cost, of the live stream. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that daggone like button. And if you're feeling generous, go ahead and share the stream. Share it with some people. Today's show, it's going to be a good one. We got some things to talk about that I don't think too many people have discussed, but I want to talk about it today. So we're going to get into it today, man. Please hit the like button on the way in the building this morning. And when you do hit that like button, please let us know which number you are when you hit that like button this morning. Thank you guys very much for pulling up. We have... right now, right off the rip, 147 people in the building. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys very much for pulling up. So that means that we should have well over 100 likes kicking things off right off the rip. I want to show some love to my people in the chat. Thank you guys very much for pulling up. Shout out to Lori Addison. Y'all make sure y'all follow her instructions and hit that daggone like button on the way in. Get some coffee and enjoy the show. Absolutely. Absolutely. What up, B? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you. What's up, Marcy Richards? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. She says, here to another beautiful day. Absolutely. Praise the Lord. Shout out to my brother Hunter. Always comes through to get things kicked off with a proper Bible verse to help get the show kicked off on the proper footing. Shout out to the brother Hunter, man. Thank you very much. Today's verse comes out of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14. Says that we believe that Jesus died and rose again. And so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hunter. Shout out to Donald Lovejoy. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Toy Mafia in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Kenneth Williams? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Shout out to Marcy Richards. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. What up, Ryan? How's it going? Georgia in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What's up, Melissa? How you doing this morning? Early morning for you, but shout out to you. Aloha to you. Appreciate you. What's up, Aon? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What up, Hadassah? It's good to see you over here. Good to see you. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. What up, Steve? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you. What up, Big Job Ford? Wisconsin in the building. Shout out to you. Larry Montgomery in the house. Shout out to you. What up, Energizer Bunny? What's going on, Nelly? Papa Dodd in the building. What up, Angela? How you doing this morning? New Jersey in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. What up, Lonnie Kings? Good to see you, man. Glad you pulled up this morning. Junior Ray in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Yuck? What's going on with you, man? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What up, Playboy Billy? It's good to see you, man. Good to see you in the chat this morning. Good to see you. Shout out to, how do you say that? Is that Mad Pie Perfect? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Joining the ARP family. Thank you very much for supporting me and supporting what we're doing over here at ARP. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. I really, really do. I do not take it for granted. I promise you I don't, man. I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. And my wife, she appreciates you guys as well. She appreciates you guys supporting the channel as well. Shout out to Krista Knight. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What up, Delinda House? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. What's up, Kenneth? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Is that Kenny Cooper? Oh, Kenny Cooper changed up the picture. What up, Kenny Cooper? Appreciate you pulling up, man. Be safe out there on the road. Appreciate you. What up, Amber Young? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. My brother Malachi, what's going on, man? Hope all is well out there in Michigan. Be safe out there, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Shout out to Colleen. Appreciate you pulling up. Texas in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. What up, JJ O'Hara? How you doing this morning? Amber Young in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Kenny Cooper said, Sawyer, Michigan. You're close to my youngest daughter. Lives out in Benton Harbor. Okay. All right. All right. Look at Kenny Cooper trying to put a bid in. I know Malachi single. He's not taken off the market yet. What up, Sugar Shane? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What is that? We got Lynn in the building. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Butler, PA in the house. What up, Jane Fecto? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Steve Edminster, please. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Izzy? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Jasmine? How you doing this morning, sister? Good to see you this morning. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Mr. Largy? What's up, Deborah? How's it going? Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you. We got Marla in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Nanny? Oh, you took a little break from Van. Come over here and hang out with us for a quick second. Okay. I know you had to dip out. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well with you guys. What up, Shelby Dodd? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Mark Patterson in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What up, Deb? How you doing this morning? It's good to see you. Deb Longo in the building. What up, Teddy? How's it going, man? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hope all is well. All right. We're going to get ready to get the show kicked off. Yeah, let's get the show kicked off. I think we have another super chat I want to read real quick. Shout out to the Energizer Bunny 007 with the $2 super chat. Says, good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Appreciate your support in the channel this morning. Shout out to you guys, man. What's up, Kirsten? How you doing this morning, sister? Leslie Aaron in the building. Shout out to you. What up, Joan Simone? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you all pulling up. We got a American MAGA girl in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you. We got the Way in the building. Fort Mill, South Cac in the house. Tinkerbell in the building. Shout out to you. PK Krillin in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. All right. Got Sandra Hill in the building. First time in the chat. Okay, that's what's up. First time being on the channel. We got to show her some love. Y'all make sure y'all welcome Sandra Hill properly in the chat. Show her some love. Thank you for pulling up this morning. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, Van showing a brother some love. Appreciate that. Oh, look at Kenny Cooper. See, Kenny Cooper, he said, I'm protectable. That's my baby girl. She's only 29. She might be a little old for Malachi. You know, not to say that 29 is old, ladies. It's not. I'm just saying Malachi is, a little younger than that. Yeah, a little younger. What up, LS? What's going on with you, brother? Good to see you this morning. Appreciate you. Shout out to Malachi coming through with the $2 super chat. Says, will you do an election night live stream tonight? Ooh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Maybe I should kind of try to keep track of things. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what's going on tonight. I got some things I need to do today. And then we'll see, what's going on tonight and see how I can keep track of things. Keep track of everything that's going on. That'd be a long night because y'all know you don't really get the results to these elections until late in the evening. But we'll see. We'll see. We got Central Cali in the building. What's up, Mark? Is it Margarita? Is that how you say that? Excuse me. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. All righty. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get the show kicked off, man. Let's get the show kicked off, man. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Margarita like the drink. Okay. All right. I can dig it. That's what's up. Do we have any Virginia folks up in here? Do we have any Spam Burger supporters up in here? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, Citrus Height Cali in the building. Okay, what's up, Dawn? How you doing this morning? Early morning for you. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Hey, Sandra, if you could let us know where you checking in, where you are located. If you could, that'd be really dope. Let us know where you're watching the show for. All right, let's get things kicked off, man. And before we do that, I want to say, as you guys can see the hat, you see the hat, Yahweh Jireh, or some of you guys might say Jehovah Jireh, which essentially means the Lord will provide. This morning, I was reading Exodus chapter 16, and sorry about that. And it just got me to thinking, I was like, man, somebody probably needs to preach on Exodus 16. Somebody needs to. Excuse me. Goodness gracious, I'm gonna have to go get me some water or get wifey to bring me some water down here. But with everything that's going on, when I'm watching the videos, UPS just laid off like 48,000 people, and obviously we got this shutdown going on, and we've had a multitude of people lose their jobs, the people that work for the federal government, and Amazon's laying folks off, and Microsoft's laying people off, and Google is laying people off. I mean, it's just crazy, how much is going on right now. But if you have been affected, I got to tell you, man, hey, the Lord will provide. He will. He will provide. As someone that's going through this process, that's going through the layoffs, I got laid off from my job back in 2023. Prior to even thinking about, getting into this space. Yuck said UPS is trash. Understood. But I'm just saying, just when you start thinking about the amount of people that are, just losing their jobs, I want people to know, don't give up hope, man. Put your faith in God. The Lord will provide. He will. He will make a way. I promise you he will. I'm living proof of that. I lost my job or got laid off. I'm laid off from my job back in 2023, March of 2023 at that. And, it wasn't long before, one, I got another opportunity. And, it didn't pay as much as the opportunity that I lost. But, it gave us the ability to, or gave me the ability more or less to hold down, what I needed to hold down. And then, eventually, that job went away and got laid off from there. And, I found myself kind of trying to figure out what the heck am I going to do? And, stumbled, into this situation here. But, I just want people to know, that there's tons of scriptures out there. But when you get into, I don't know why, today, and I've been reading Exodus, for the better part now, probably a couple of weeks, just, a verse, not a verse, but a chapter, here and there. And it just so happened that today, I'm reading chapter 16, and if you guys know anything about chapter 16 in Exodus, it talks about the manna, right? God brought, meat in the evening. He brought manna in the mornings. And it just right then and there with everything that is going on, it just made me think like somebody needs to preach on this. Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to preach on that chapter 16. And people need to understand that the Lord will come through. He always comes through. And people need to know that. So, so I wanted to throw that out there. If you guys haven't read or taken the time to read, chapter 16 in Exodus, take the time to go and do that. So you can see the goodness of the Lord and just know that, he comes through. He comes through. Not only did he, provide the manna from heaven, but he also sent meat in the evening. The problem is a lot of us, unfortunately, just like the Israelites back then, we hard-headed. We don't listen. We don't know how to follow the instructions. We are hard-headed as all get out. But if we just follow the instructions, man, and put our trust in the Lord, he lets it be known like, hey, I will provide for you. I will be there. If you put your trust and your faith in me, he lets it be known. But so many of us, man, we're so hard-headed. We think that we got this. We can do this on our own. Hey, not the case, but, Yep, you're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right there. We don't accept that it's his timing, not ours. Who is that? Kenny Cooper. I got to throw this out there. Yes. Says chapter 16 describes how God showed them how he can provide for them even in the wilderness after bringing them out of Egypt. And they still murmured and complained, which angered God. Absolutely. It just goes to show you, how hard-headed people are. We will find a way to complain instead of being thankful. Thank you, Kenny Cooper, for that. I appreciate that, man. All right. We're going to get the show started, man. We're going to start down in Oklahoma. We're going to start there. I don't know if you guys heard about this story out in Oklahoma, but I want to start here. And then we're just kind of slowly but surely progress and move on, through the day. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button for me. Hit the like button. Super chat, super thanks are greatly appreciated. Shout out to my folks on X and my folks on Twitch. Shout out to you guys as well. Hit the like button. Let's get the show started.
This don't set you on fire. I guarantee your wood's wet because it makes you upset. Anybody that listens to this is going to be absolutely upset. And you start into how did this happen? How do we stop this? But here's the problem. The laws are there. What do you do when the courts don't follow the rules that's already set? Because they're the ones who set this. They filed charges on him. They set him as an adult. That didn't just happen. They had to have a hearing to adjudicate him to an adult. So how in the world did this judge come back and rule that, no, we're going to place him under a Youthful Offender Act and make it to where this sexual predator, this person convicted of all these sexual crimes, no longer has to do any of the things that require time, that require check-in and to register as a sex offender, turn him back out on the street without any kind of oversight over him. That's, again, if that don't fire you up, there's something wrong.
All righty. So this was Oklahoma Representative Justin J.J. Humphrey talking about a story out of Oklahoma. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it because it hasn't made it on the mainstream, which I'm surprised it didn't make it to mainstream media. But I wanted to talk about this because this is a story out of Oklahoma that is, at this point now, I believe, starting to draw some intense scrutiny and public backlash, and rightfully so. This is the kind of soft on crime nonsense that's rotting our justice system from the inside out, letting monsters walk free while victims are left picking up the pieces. So I want to jump into it real quick. I don't know if you guys are familiar with or if you've heard about it, but this incident took place in Stillwater, Oklahoma in early 2024. There's a youngin' by the name of Jesse Butler. At the time, he was 17 years old and a high school baseball player. He was accused of assaulting not one, but two 16-year-old girls that he had been dating. According to court documents and victim statements, the attacks occurred over several months and involved repeated instances of rape and strangulation. One victim required surgery to repair damage to her neck after being choked unconscious. Her doctor noted that she was about 30 seconds away from dying. Police also recovered a video from Butler's phone showing him strangling one of the girls. He was charged as an adult with 10 felony counts. 10 felony counts, including rape, attempted rape, sexual battery, and assault. Dude was facing up to 78 years in prison. 78 years in prison. But yet this dude still walks free today. This is insane. This is crazy. Makes no sense.
With 2 News, following a case in Stillwater that's gained widespread attention on social media. A high school student's pleading no contest to several rape and domestic assault charges. Jesse Butler was arrested back in March on 10 rape-related charges involving 2 underage girls. Investigators say the crimes happened over multiple months in 2024 when Butler was around 17 years old. Victim statements from both girls say Butler forced them to perform sex. Butler strangled them to the point of unconsciousness. The case now sparking outrage online after prosecutors reclassified him as a youthful offender despite initially charging him as an adult. I talked with Kimberly Jantz with the Tulsa County DA's Juvenile Division about.
Alrighty, so this case has essentially taken a shocking turn that has really started to spark some outrage here. Obviously, after the fact, I don't think a lot of people were paying attention, to this case early on. But Butler, who initially not guilty, struck a deal with the DA to be tried as a youthful offender. He pleaded no contest, accepting conviction without admitting guilt. I don't understand how that works. Dude was bold enough to videotape it. Not sure how that worked. And the judge approved this. The judge approved it. And the results of this case here is he received 1 year rehab and community service instead of prison time. This dude should not be in jail. He should be under the jail. Seriously, under the jail. With the real killers, dealers, and drug dealers. He should be there with them. And he should probably be in a cell with Big Bubba now. Seriously. And it's not just a one-off incident. This was a multitude of incidences, and this dude was bold enough to record some of the incidents. It's outrageous, when you hear the victims, what the victims told investigators. One of the victims said that Butler repeatedly raped and choked her, repeatedly over 3 months. Another said he choked her until, she passed out. And now there's new body cam footage from his March 2024 arrest that shows the moment it all unfolded. I want you guys to check this out.
Wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. You're what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah. So we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long. But there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs? You know we're doing this. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get you out. For me? All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay. So we will. He's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yep.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police Department.
Yeah.
On Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that
perfect.
we're the ones that picked him up.
And
They
when
don't-
you say we are the ones.
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they don't think he went like straight over and he's over at the county.
Awful experience for the child.
Pat you down, spread your feet for me. Nothing on your side.
That's Jess. See you in a bit.
Talking about handling somebody with kid gloves. Sheesh. And I get it. I get it. As a parent, potentially, this young man's mother, finding out that your son's, a criminal. I mean, it has to be devastating. But that line, "I'll get you out," says it all. She's the problem. She's the problem. She is probably the reason this dude feels like he can just do whatever it is that he wants to do. It reflects a deeper issue. Parents shielding their kids from consequences instead of holding them accountable. And in this case, it's not just any family. Butler's father is a former Oklahoma State football director with strong ties in local power circles. Many believe those connections helped secure this sweetheart plea deal for his son. Y'all know what time it is. And basically, they turn what should have been justice into privilege. I mean, it's the classic two-tiered system, right? Rules for the connected, punishments for everyone else. Y'all know good and well, if this dude didn't have the types of connections, he'd be in prison right now, serving those almost 80 years. But Butler grew up thinking that the rules don't apply to him, and the court just confirmed it. His mother worried about the handcuffs, but where was the concern for the girls that he nearly strangled to death? One was reportedly seconds from dying. I mean, this whole thing, it just reeks. Honestly, it's just not a good look. And the judge's decision, the youthful offender loophole, I mean, it's starting to look less like mercy and more like a rigged escape hatch in the justice system. Seriously. This is ridiculous.
DA's juvenile division about how that process works and what factors can lead to such a decision.
This is an area of law that is incredibly complicated. The biggest factors are what was the crime and what is the age of the defendant.
Jans didn't speak specifically about Butler's case since it didn't happen in Tulsa County, but says the most significant change that can come deals with sentencing. Butler originally sentenced to 78 years in prison. That changes as a youthful offender, or YO.
Wanting to do the YO aspect gives you the possibility of rehabilitating yourself before having to serve a long sentence in the Department of Corrections.
We reached out to the Payne County District Attorney, Butler's attorney, and the Office of Juvenile Affairs, but haven't heard back. I'm TJ Eckert with 2 News Oklahoma.
Now listen, I don't have daughters. But I can't say, I'm sure some of you guys have daughters. Yeah, Kirsten, you're absolutely right. This is another case of affluenza. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I can't say that as a father, I wouldn't take matters into my own hands. I can't say that. Now, I don't know if these young women, if these young ladies, have fathers in their lives, I don't know, uncles, somebody, but yeah, I don't know if I would be able to sleep at night allowing this, knowing that this dude is still out here, with the ability to do this again. Seriously. Yeah. So as the lady, laid it out there, this right here, it boils down to the crime's severity weighed against the offender's age, opening the door to rehab over a long-term prison sentence. For Butler, that flipped a potential 78-year bid into a program pitched as a second chance. Reform now, corrections later if needed. But here's where it falls apart, though. Rehabilitation, especially in these types of situations, it sounds noble on paper, especially for non-violent slip-ups. It'd be one thing, if this dude, broke into some houses or, this was burglary or stealing or something along those lines. But for calculated, repeated violence like this, his actions documented on video by himself, strangulations that required surgery. Yeah. This is an individual. Can we call him, maybe American Psycho type? Seriously. I mean, come on. This isn't a youngin' shoplifting candy or stealing some earbuds or something like that, right? I mean, this is a young man who knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he's doing. And the system's so-called complicated factors end up prioritizing potential over protection, giving predators a hall pass under the guise of mercy. Honestly, it's really just a slap in the face, statistically. It's a slap in the face because statistically, it invites reoffenses because there's no real deterrent there. And the data backs that. Studies show that these patterns don't vanish with community service, but instead they harden without hard time. We're breeding a culture where accountability is optional for the youthful, eroding trust in the courts and leaving families like these girls to fend for themselves. Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. This is egregious, in my opinion. And somebody said it in the chat that I bet, he reoffends within 5 years. Yeah, highly probable. Anybody that does stuff like this and you videotape it, this dude recorded it to rewatch it again, which lets you know that he probably gets off on this type of stuff. Nah. What we do know is that, there's a plethora of people that would be under the jail right now. But because this dude has some connections in the state of Oklahoma due to his father, this dude's able to get off and potentially reoffend again. It's ridiculous. Shout out to Laura Robinson with the $5 super chat. Says, I bet he reoffends within 5 years. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me one bit that, we're talking about this probably less than 5 years, to be honest with you. Now, at the same time, any chick in that city that is dealing with this guy, I think he should be off limits. I think everybody should know, hey, steer clear of this individual right here. Seriously. Shout out to Natasha's Life coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, as a mom, this makes me feel No justice for the children. Yeah. Now, if you guys recall, there was a story in Northern Virginia. I believe it was either Fairfax County or Loudoun County. I cannot remember. But if you recall, there was a story of a young man who was, quote unquote, trying to identify as a girl, going into girls' locker rooms or bathrooms, and he assaulted not one, but two. They swept up under the rug the first time, sent him to another school, and he did it again. This is an individual with a problem. Seriously. This is sad, man. It's really crazy. Really crazy. American MAGA girl, I am there with you. Right there. She said, I'm surprised one of the girl's fathers hasn't gone after him. Yeah. Well, I will say this. You know, if you're doing it, you play the long game on this. You wait until you can catch him on the low. Right? You wait until you catch him on the low. Now, it doesn't state, you know, if he has to register, you know, as a sex offender or something along those lines. It doesn't state if that is the case. Hopefully, he does at least have to do that. But, yeah, I would assume that dad or brothers or uncles or somebody is lying in wait, waiting on an opportunity to get his behind. Shout out to Laura Robinson coming through with the $5 super chat. Says, I do know that there are a lot of good old boys in Oklahoma. Yeah. Okay, I was right. That was Loudoun County. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Let's keep it moving. In other news, yeah, today's the day. Today is the day. Got to talk about it. You know, what's happening in New York City right now. We got to talk about what's going on up there in NYC, because this mayoral race has turned into something far bigger than just another local election. What we're watching unfold with Zohran Mamdani's campaign is really a test of where the Democratic Party is heading and whether voters in one of the bluest cities in America are finally waking up to the dangers of socialism. The polls show that Mamdani, who's been called the AOC of Astoria, is suddenly collapsing. Just days ago, Atlas Intel, the same pollster that nailed the 2024 election result, released a survey showing Mamdani up by only 4 points over Andrew Cuomo. 4 points. If you guys recall, I believe he was up 30 points not too long ago. So the fact that he is up only up 4 points at this point, it could be a positive sign for that action up there. We'll see. We shall see. But as you can see here on the screen, I want to put this into perspective real fast. This is New York City, right? This is New York City, a place where, you know, Democrats almost never lose, especially not to each other. But this time's different. Cuomo is running as an independent. He's running as an independent. Curtis Sliwa represents Republicans. And in this three-way race, Sliwa 15% could decide everything. So here's the kicker. Without Sliwa in the mix, Cuomo would actually lead Mamdani. Without Sliwa. That means that Mamdani has basically hit his ceiling, stuck around about 45% in one of the most bluest cities in America. So what that translates to is this. Most voters aren't just buying, you know, whatever this dude is selling. They're just not. And, you know, when you look closer at the money, a huge chunk of Mamdani's funding comes from out-of-state donors, foreign interests, and Muslim American PACs tied to activist networks well outside of New York City. It's not grassroots support. It's a national agenda wearing a local mask. So a lot of this dude's money, just to put it out there, a lot of the money comes from outside sources, places outside or people from outside the nation.
right now I'm a little more quiet because I'm on the quiet side of this race, but I'm going to tell you that once November 4th comes around, I will tell the story. The story is not just that it's random that Zahran ascended to this place. It is our Muslim American communities. And I'll also say that it's Muslim money. The PACs that have supported Zahran, or a particular PAC that has supported Zahran, is probably over 80% of Muslim American donors in this country. High net donors, grassroots donors. And I want to make the point that the Unity and Justice Fund PAC, which is the CARE Super PAC, was the largest institutional donor to the pro-Zahran PAC in New York.
Yeah. So you see what's going on there. All you gotta do is follow the money. Seriously. I'm not sure if this is a, actually, I can't even say, I'm not even gonna say I'm not sure. This isn't a grassroots movement. This isn't what a grassroots movement looks like. This is ideological money flooding in from people who want to turn New York into a laboratory for socialist experiments, and voters are starting to notice. The more they hear about who's behind him and what he actually believes in, the more skeptical they become. Now, President Trump even weighed in on this during the 60 Minutes interview when he was asked about Mamdani being compared to him for, being charismatic and anti-establishment. And Trump laughed it off and said, well, I'm much better looking. But then he got serious and he said, if a communist takes over New York, he's not sending federal money to fund failure. And good on him. I'm with it. Honestly, I think that's where a lot of voters are right now. I think a lot of voters are right there. Like, hey, we don't care for Cuomo either, but if it's between a piss poor example of a Democrat and a, communist who essentially has told you, like, hey, I'm here to implement communism. I'm here to bring that right here to the United States in one of the largest cities in the country. Hey, a no-brainer. Seriously. So I think a lot of voters are right there. LJ said Sliwa is the #1 player hater of the year. Well, I wish I had it, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to pull it up. There may be a reason that Sliwa is doing this, is staying in the race. There may be a reason that is far more underhanded than you think. And I hope Crystal sent it over to me if she didn't. There's a video out there, and I haven't had a chance to see it yet. So, I'm going to say there's an alleged video out there of Curtis Sliwa back in the springtime, doing an event with Mamdani. Let me see. Nope. I thought she sent it over to me, but she didn't. Okay. I was going to see if I could get that pulled up. But yeah, so that may be the reason why he's like, hey, he could be bought and paid for. Could be. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh, so Dion said that trip is true. Hey Dion, if you could find that clip for me, can you find it and email it over to me real fast? I'd love to showcase it. She was supposed to send it to me yesterday, but I didn't get it. But so that could be why this dude has decided not to drop off. That could be. You know what I'm saying? Could be. Yeah. But they may not love Cuomo, but at least he's not trying to dismantle capitalism, right? And that's the real story here. Not just what happens Tuesday, but what it means for Democrats nationally. Nationally. Because if a self-described socialist like Mamdani can't even clear 50% in deep blue New York, imagine how toxic that label will be in places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin. I mean, if he loses, it's not going to be an absolute nightmare for Democrats who publicly endorsed him. They can't walk that back. I mean, they'll attempt to, but they can't. They've already embraced the socialism by name. They've already done it. And if he wins, but barely squeaks by, it's still a disaster because it shows that even the heart of the progressive movement is divided. And regardless, you can already see the panic setting in. The New York Post is reporting that nearly 1 million New Yorkers are ready to pack their U-Hauls and bolt if Mamdani pulls off the upset. They're saying that, hey, we are getting them out of here. You can see it. Nearly 1 million New Yorkers ready to flee. Flee. That's a powerful word right there. Flee if Mamdani becomes mayor, possibly igniting the largest exodus in history. Now, I will say this. If you plan to leave your politics in New York. Don't go south, you know what I'm saying, and then bring your foolery with you. Don't do that. Out of 8.4 million voters out in New York, or 8.4 million New Yorkers, about 765,000, that would be 9%, say they're definitely leaving. That's like all of DC, Las Vegas, or Seattle disappearing overnight. Another 2.1 million are seriously considering it if this dude wins. Seriously considering it if this dude wins. Even among high earners, those that make over $250,000 a year, 7% of them plan to go. And I would assume that more once they realize they're about to get crushed in taxes. And the reason why is because New Yorkers aren't stupid. These aren't ignorant individuals. As much as we may disagree with their politics, they're not stupid. They see what Mamdani's agenda means in real life. Soft on crime policies, sanctuary spending sprees, and government alternatives to markets with no plan to make them work. I mean, come on, man. It's slogans over solutions. The stakes aren't abstract. They're not. They're on the subway. They're in your kids' walk to school and in small businesses shuttering after dark. That's what this vote is really about. Safety, sanity, and survival in a city losing all three. And then you got the other side. The ones cheering Mamdani. I want you guys to see this clip here because it tells you everything that you need to know about these people. Seriously, I want you guys to see this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Goodness gracious. Pull that down. Share this. There we go.
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily. I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily. I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily. I voted for Mamdani.
I wanted to let that play a couple of times just to show you who's supporting the ignorance. Seriously, who's supporting the ignorance? I'm telling you, man. Oh, liberal women are some of the worst, man. Seriously. They're some of the worst. Nate's that dude, man. I rocks with Nate. But come on, man. Look at this. Really?
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not.
So you vote for the dude, but you don't think that his ideals will work. Do you understand how crazy that sounds? Do y'all understand how crazy that sounds? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, these people are the worst. These are the worst. Oh, really? And she proudly comes out and says, I voted Mamdani. I mean, these people are insane.
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily.
Then what you vote for the guy for? Oh my gosh. It's like when you see this type of stuff, man, When you see this, you a lot of times you guys are like, man, people can't be this stupid, right? They can't be this dumb. They can't be this out there. They can't be. They can't be. It's impossible. Nah, they can be, and they are. They can be, and they are. Seriously, beware of performative politics because it gets expensive. Mondani's been doing what Democrats do best, which is pander. Pander. Dancing for cameras, chasing viral clips, turning serious debates into popularity contests, and sure, it plays well online, especially with the young voters, but the bill always comes due. Free isn't free. I got to say that again for you guys. Free isn't free. Somebody always pays. Pilot programs become permanent spending. Subsidies create new dependencies. Good intentions still come with invoices. And if you're going to spend billions, spend it on things that reduce chaos, raise competence, and make life better for real New Yorkers. Now think about this, man. Polls close, or remember this, polls close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If Mondani loses, or even wins narrowly, Democrats have a major identity crisis. They can't call themselves the party of the working people while propping up socialism and communism. They just can't. And watch, if he loses, every big name Democrat, Hochul, Jeffries, all of them, they'll subtly pretend that they never backed the guy. They're all going to backtrack. But if Mondani wins big, the left will spin it as a movement. But if he limps in under 50%, it just shows the movement's already collapsing. And if he loses outright, expect months of Democratic damage control. Because this isn't just about New York. It's about America's direction. And if socialism can't sell in the bluest city in the country, I mean, it is dead on arrival everywhere else. Tonight's results will tell the story. For real. I don't know. We may do a live stream tonight just to look at it and talk about it. We may. And maybe I'll do it, in a call-in way to give people an opportunity to pull up and call in. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. If I don't do it, we'll definitely discuss it tomorrow morning on the live stream at ARP in the morning. We definitely will. If I don't do do a live stream tonight. I hadn't planned on it, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna make it happen or not, though. All righty, let's see here. A couple super chats I want to receive. All right. Shout out to Staten coming through with the $5 super chat. Says, didn't we have an election to get rid of this kind of weakness? This punk comes from an affluent family. Okay, I read that one already. Sorry about that. All righty. All right, here we go. Shout out to Natasha's Life with the $10 super chat. Says, as a man, this makes me feel no justice for the children. Thank you for coming through with the $10 super chat. Says Laura Robinson with the $5. Okay. I must have, goodness gracious. Okay, I'm a little behind here. Thank you, Laura, for the $5 super chat. I think I read that one already. Shout out to Energizer Bunny coming through with the $5 super chat. If that happened in Alabama, it would not be in the news because they wouldn't find his body. Sheesh. All right. What up, Jay Witt? What's up with you, brother? Says, what's good, ARP family? Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. Shout out to Natasha's Life. Been a member for 2 months. Thank you very much. I pray that he doesn't win for New York's sake. Yeah. Shout out to Natasha's Life, gifting an ARP family membership. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Shout out to Natasha's Life, gifting another ARP family membership. And shout out to Natasha's Life for gifting another ARP family membership. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel this morning. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I really do. Shout out to PK Krillin, been a member for 4 months. What about him saying he is going to make buses faster? Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. The traffic's crazy up there. Shout out to my guy Jeff over at It's Not Your Fault, Al-Anon channel, coming through with the $11 super chat. Said, it's like watching hogs line up for the slaughterhouse and the leaders see he is going to win. So they all want to be seen kissing the ring. NYC will be Paris or London in 2 years. Yeah, if that dude some kind of way wins. Yeah, you're right there. Shout out to my brother Rolando coming through with the $5 super chat. Says, no, this guy believes what he says. That's why he hasn't dropped out, my brother. My brother was a guardian angel in the 80s. He knows the guy. He a man of conviction. Okay. All right. Shout out to Papa Doc coming through, joining the ARP family. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Papa Doc. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And shout out to Papa Doc coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, we are Americans. Stop saying, oh, well, they'll find out. We support America. If it happens to one of us, it's happening to all of us. We need to stand united again. And I understand where you're coming from, Papa Doc. I do agree with that to an extent, but each state is its own entity. Each city is its own entity. And the people that live in those states and cities, I mean, we can't control, we don't get a say on as to what's happening in New York. We don't get a say. And it's unfortunate that the people up in New York don't see it. They don't see it and see what's going on. It's unfortunate. Shout out to Natasha's Life, joining the ARP family or gifting an ARP family membership. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, Angel. I know Sliwa lives in, and I know he's a guardian angel. I know he loves the city. I know that. But again, you know, the people in each city, they have the ability to support whoever it is that they want to support. I mean, you've seen this lady. Look at her.
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily. I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't combat these types of people. It's hard to combat people like this. And I get it. Yes, we are all Americans. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But, oh, you sent the link? Okay. I'm gonna pull it up here. And we are all Americans, but at the same time, you can't stop people like this. You know? How do you stop people? How do you stop a young lady like this from voting for a person that she doesn't even know what he's about? You can't force people, to get educated. You just can't. You can't force people to educate themselves on the candidates and educate themselves on the policies. You can't. Crazy. When I saw it, I was just like, what in the world? So you voted for the guy, but this dude tells you that, hey, I plan to implement socialism. I am a socialist. And he asked you, do you think it would work in New York City? Nah, I don't think so. Huh? This is crazy. It's crazy. As my brother Jason would say, crazy work. All right, let me pull this up real quick. Give me a second. Let's share this. Okay, so Curtis Sliwa supporting Zoran Mamdani. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this, but hey, why not show it here? Okay, so Sliwa showing himself as anti-Cuomo, which I cannot refute that. I can't blame him for that. I can't blame him for being anti-Cuomo. I think most people probably are, up there. Doesn't make sense to me, man. Doesn't make sense. Maybe at that time, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe this was in the spring. Maybe at that time, Sliwa didn't really know what Mamdani stood for. Maybe that's the case. Maybe he just didn't know. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. Okay? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The liberal lady, though, she gets no benefit of the doubt. None. None. I think it might be too late for Sliwa to drop out, though. And he's already come out his mouth and said he has zero intent on dropping out this race. Zero. All righty. We're going to keep it moving, though, but we're going to keep it moving. But, you know, as these local showdowns wrap up, you know, they are the first glimpse into what we could see unfold during the midterm, which are 1 year out at this point now. We can officially say we are a year out from the midterm, and, you know, where control of Congress hangs by a thread, and every vote could lock in or blow up the president's agenda. Republicans hold a slim edge in the Senate, 53-47, and they hold a fairly reasonable, but another slim edge in the House, 219-213, you know, and there's 3 vacancies. So you have 33 Senate seats and 435 House spots that are up for grabs next year. Voters aren't mincing words on what's at stake here either. The economy, borders, the shutdown circus. Fox News rounded up a raw panel of Republicans, Democrats, and independents to break it down. And their back and forth is a perfect snapshot of the national fracture. Hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Share the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I appreciate everybody that has supported the channel thus far via super chat, super thanks. I appreciate you guys. We're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep rocking. Hit that like button for me, though. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you all.
To see you both. I want to start with those independents, actually. Mary Josephine, I'm going to start with you. I know that you vote, you say, according to the issues that are most important. So for the midterms, give me what's most important to you.
The economy. I just feel like we haven't had any reprieve from the inflation. We don't have reprieve, like the taxes are just out of control. I really feel that, Americans need breathing room, and we don't have that right now. Interest rates are really high. Housing is unaffordable. It's really, really difficult for, anybody to make it. That's how I feel. I mean, if I feel these pressures as a business person, I can only imagine what the middle class and lower middle class feel like. Obviously, there are people there making money. There are people in the upper echelons that succeed and do well. But I believe for the middle class, it's really, really, really difficult. And I mean, if I'm feeling it, I can only imagine others are too.
You know, it's interesting, and you've been on panels in the past here on Voters' Voices. I welcome you back. As an independent, you can see it kind of different ways, but you're hitting on that affordability situation, and that's something that Republicans are going to have to deal with. They're seeing it in a lot of different places. But the facts are that inflation has come down precipitously. And the problem is that it was at 9% or better for so long under the last president that the prices don't come down. They wait for the economy to reset. And so the 2 to 3% that we continue to go up is based on those high prices. And that's what affects affordability. So you've got to hit at something that takes away the pricing, like the price of energy, like some of the things that Republicans and this Republican president have said that he's trying to do through the tariffs. So we're watching all of it. But what you feel counts.
All right, so the economy tops every poll. I think we can all agree on that, right? There's no surprise there that the economy tops every poll. And as Harris points out, we're living through the lag of years of reckless spending, supply chain chaos, and the energy policies that punish producers instead of empowering them. Trump's tariffs and energy push are steps toward recovery, but voters still feel the squeeze. And affordability isn't just an issue, it's the issue. It's the #1 issue right now in our country. And let's be real. President Trump inherited an economic dumpster fire, trillions in Biden-era handouts, open borders flooding labor markets, and green mandates that sent energy prices soaring through the roof. You can't undo 4 years of fiscal arson in 10 months. You just can't do it. But voters' patience is running thin. And I understand why. Republicans in Congress, they take note. This isn't the time for "we told you so." It's time for solutions that prove that you hear the pain. And now you tie that into New York, where affordability is the flashpoint: free buses, rent, caps, government groceries. I mean, they all sound like lifelines, but they're traps. They're traps. Mondani's socialist pitch hooks desperate voters crushed by $3,000 rents and inflation, but his fixes are fantasies that would wreck the city. We're talking shortages, flight and black markets. You know that's coming. Republicans can't just mock Democrat failures. They need to offer relief that works, because right behind the economic storm comes the next great divide, which is immigration. But let's keep it moving.
Brought me back to it.
Yeah.
You mentioned neighbors. If there are illegals living among us, how many of you think that an illegal alien who came across our border and broke our first law, our sovereignty as a country, how do you see them as a neighbor? Are they?
Well, I'm illegal here, right?
Hold on,
this land isn't mine.
Hold on. A show of hands. How many of you see that individual as a pure neighbor?
I know.
That's the majority. That's 5-3. So how do we cross this divide? How do we get there, Dove?
Honestly, I think it's hard. The rise of the partisan politics has really jeopardized what I view as one of the great features of American democracy, which is being able to work across the aisle. And I'm really looking for candidates who are able to do that, moderates, centrists, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, who are really able to work together in order to address issues like that. And in terms of your question on immigrants, I think a person is a person, regardless of what their legal status is, and their legal status can change. And I don't know or really care what their legal status is personally. I think if they're a person, they're my neighbor, and I'm going to treat them that way.
I think that there's a difference between being kind, and to me, my faith is one thing is being nice to people from different lands, but they also have to be respectful of our laws. And everybody wants to come to the United States because we have a great economy, have a lot of opportunity, but there's a process to do that. My family has been here since at least the 1700s. There's no one that's gave us a free $1,400 debit card. No one gave us a free apartment. No one gave us anything free. We had to work for it. So there is a process. And if we respect all people, that means that the people that come here need to respect our laws. And that's all that we're saying. We allowed 20 million immigrants in here legally since 2000. How much is too much, and how much are we going to put the burden on the taxpayers? Because the money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So basically, a little over half the room sees open hearts over open laws. The other half's drawing a line in the sand for fairness in the rule book. You got to show the hands. You got to show the hands of splitting 5-3 in favor of calling border crossers full-on neighbors. No qualifiers, and it's selling. And that lean comes mostly from the left, the ones framing it as pure humanity play. I mean, come on now. It's respectable on the surface, if you're all about empathy, but it skips the hard part. What about the folks who played by the rules, waited years in line, paid the fees, and jumped through hoops just to call this home legally? Or the taxpayers? Us watching billions of dollars vanish into hotel debit cards and emergency funds for folks who hop the fence. And the last guy on the panel cuts right to it. And he's absolutely correct. There's a world of difference between basic decency, like treating people with dignity, and straight up demanding respect for the system that keeps this country from turning into a free-for-all. His family roots goes back centuries, grinding it out without a dime from the government, building from scratch because that's the deal. Opportunities here, but you earn your spot. We welcome millions of illegal immigrants, unchecked. And at some point, you got to say enough's enough. Prices spike because cheap labor floods the markets. Neighborhoods strain under the load, and suddenly your local schools, hospitals, and even SNAP lines are stretched thin for citizens who paid in. And finally, the shutdown. Let's hear what they have to say in reference to that.
Just common sense.
So, Maria, I see you nodding. Jason.
Of course. Well, when it comes to illegal immigration, and we were talking about the shutdown previously, we have to point out that when we're talking about the bargaining chip, I don't think we can blame the president for that. I actually think we have to blame the Democrats for that. And this shutdown has not been popular, okay? This has been the Schumer shutdown, and they're playing politics with people's lives.
Yes.
And it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. And none of us would defend that.
Dan?
I think it should really be referred to as the Republicant Party, because all they talk about is what they can't do. They can't reopen the government. They can't find a way to feed poor people.
Wait a minute. You do understand
they can't
that
find a way
gave
to
a House passed, and you know one of the hardest places on the planet to get something passed is in the House, because there are so many more members, and many of them have races at different times, and I mean, it can get complicated there. They passed a continuing resolution, much like the Democrats have done, and Republicans have voted to support those resolutions north of a dozen times with Chuck Schumer at the helm of Democrats. But that's not what the Democrats are willing to do this time around.
But Republicans really, they control all three branches of government. They own the shutdown. There's no question about it. And as far as immigration goes, I have a friend who is in the process of legally becoming a U.S. citizen. He has filed the right paperwork. He has gone to all the appointments. He's done everything he has to do. He is so terrified of being picked up and thrown in detention by ICE that he is basically just going back to Brazil. That is not where we should be. And this plays into the affordability crisis. This city and all cities and all parts of the American economy run on the kinds of typically cheaper labor that immigrants provide to us. The prices of everything go up when the labor prices go up. And we are removing a really important part of the pathway to becoming part of this country when we terrify communities of immigrants. We should be doing it.
What's so interesting about this gathering today, we have really, really diverse.
All right. That's telling. And we're going to get to the last guy in a second. We're going to get to him in a second. But this right here sums up the shutdown perfectly. Finger pointing, half truths, and zero accountability. Democrats turned a straightforward budget bill into a circus, digging in on pet projects while federal workers miss paychecks and families skip meals. Polls show it's now the most unpopular shutdown in years, and for good reasons. Republicans passed clean funding bills, the same kind Democrats once bragged about. The receipts don't lie. It's the Schumer shutdown. Let's just call it what it is. And now that line about immigration and affordability, the idea that we need migrants to keep prices down is insane. That's just like back in the early 1800s when they were arguing about slavery, saying we need to keep slavery in play because it keeps prices down. Do these people not hear themselves? So they're basically admitting that they want to suppress American wages so elites can keep cheap labor and $4 lattes. That's not what I would call compassion. That's what I would call exploitation. And it creates a two-tier working system. It creates that. Working families get crushed while wealthy family gets discounts. And it's not just economics. It's overcrowded schools, strained hospitals, and black markets bleeding crime. Trump's right. Secure the border, enforce the process, and let legal workers compete fairly. That's how you rebuild the middle class and make affordability real again. At the end of the day, this panel is a mirror of Washington, divided, dug in, and desperate for real talk. Midterms won't be about the noise. They'll be about who can actually fix the mess, cut the waste, secure the border, and deliver relief. Because if Republicans ignore the affordability crisis, they'll get another Mondani. Voters lured in by free socialist promises that only lead to higher bills, emptier pockets, and collapsing cities. Simple as that. And speaking of which, that's the ugly reality playing out right now in progressive playgrounds like New York, where the big talk about equity and lifting up the overlooked turns into straight up betrayal the minute power's on the line. They flood the streets with feel-good slogans, vow to champion the working class, the little guy, the families just trying to scrape by. But when it's crunch time to deliver real safety, real relief, or even basic fairness, they fold. And worse, they start preying on the very people they claim to protect, turning compassion into a con job that lines their pockets and leaves everyone else holding the bag. Which is why this next story out of New York City is one that you got to hear. It's the perfect gut punch example of how far gone things are, under this so-called leadership. And we're talking about a predatory scheme that's ripping homes from minority families, the exact folks progressives love to parade as their base, all while the city plays innocent. Before I show this clip here, I want to show some love to Brother Malachi. Thank you for coming through with the $5 super chat. It says the buses will go faster because people will be moving out. And Wise, I was talking about Friday night specifically. Nah, I'm not doing a live stream on Friday night. Not this week anyway. Just being honest with you. I normally take Friday evenings off. You know, that may change in the near future, but right now, yeah, I take Friday evenings off. Let's get it going. Hit the like button for me if you haven't done so already. Y'all make sure y'all follow Playboy Billy's instructions and smash that daggone like button. Please make sure you do that. Alrighty, let's get things going right here. Okay. Give me 1 second.
You're going to want to pay attention to this story. A Brooklyn man lost his $1 million home over an unpaid water bill. That bill, by the way, it's worth less than 1% of the value of this property.
It's a story that we first told you about over the summer that went viral, sparking outrage and a rally in the man's community. And now lawmakers are taking action, and so are the man's attorneys.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth has an update.
Have you noticed anything good happening after we aired your story?
Yes, sir.
What?
A lot of things happen good because of the media, my lawyer, and everybody come to my aid.
Fillmore Brown is fighting to keep his home, a home in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. He works 7 days a week for decades to pay off.
I cannot sleep. As soon as I lay down, put my head down, I wake up.
This is how he found out his home was sold out from under him, when strangers started to drill off the lock to his front door in the middle of the night.
I hope to get back my home.
Back in 2019, just after he paid off his mortgage, Brown says he didn't know he had an outstanding $5,000 water bill. The city sold the unpaid bill to what's called a trust, which is a group of investors. It was then up to those investors to collect the money with interest. When the balance wasn't paid, the $900,000 home went into foreclosure and was sold at auction.
Okay. We got to talk about this, man, because, if this story sounds familiar to you, it's because it went viral earlier this year, and for good reason. People were outraged, the community rallied behind the homeowner, and now lawmakers are finally stepping in. But this isn't an isolated case. It's part of a larger crisis in New York where homeowners are stripped of their rights while criminals and squatters get protected. We've seen it again and again. Strangers break into homes, flash fake leases, and when the owners call police, they're told it's a civil matter. And instead of justice, the homeowner gets dragged into a housing court while the squatter gets to, gets to one, live free, but also gets free legal aid and tenant protections. And if the owner tries to remove them, that's considered a criminal offense. And in New York's upside down system, the intruders, the tenant, and the victims, they're considered the victims, but they're also the criminal. And that brings us to East Flatbush, I can't talk this morning, Brooklyn, and Fillmore Brown, a man who worked 7 days a week for decades, finally paying off his home in 2019, but he lost his home and lost everything over a $5,000 water bill that he didn't even know about. Without proper notices, the city sold his debt to a private trust, which then seized his $1 million home. One night, strangers showed up, drilled through his locks, and told him to leave because on paper, they now own the house. Brown says he never got a single notice. The city claims someone was served during the pandemic when no one was answering doors. And once the debt was sold, it vanished from city records, leaving him no way to even check his account. And the worst part about all of this is those private investors have no incentive to warn you. The incentive is basically to take what you worked for, and they basically stole his crib for $5,000. This is insanity. These are some wicked people up there, yo. Wicked.
That's when the strangers showed up. Brown says he had no idea it happened. Once his bill was put into the trust, take a look. It was deducted from the city's billing system as if it never existed.
I believe that Mr. Brown will get his house back.
His attorney filed a new lawsuit against the city, claiming Brown never received the proper warning notices.
Did you ever receive a notice?
No, sir.
He lives on the top floor of his home and rents out the 2 other floors to other families. The city claims someone was served with paperwork at the home during the height of the pandemic.
I can't imagine. We were living in a ghost town, New York City.
So I'm glad that, Mr. Brown, as a lawyer that's fighting to get his home back. And to be honest with you, I mean, I guess he's a New Yorker and he wants to stay there, but that house is worth $1 million. I would say I would sue him for that $1 million plus, some other, pain and suffering and things of that nature, and then move south. You know what you could do with $1 million in the South? 1.2, $1.3 million down south somewhere. Goodness gracious. Oh man. But I am glad that he did get a lawyer and they're working towards, getting his home back because, honestly, man, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I mean, it really does seem like the city stole his house. That's what it seems like. Just looking at this, listening to this story, it sounds like they stole his house. But the sad part is he's not alone. He's not the only one that this happened to.
Mr. Brown isn't alone. In his area of East Flatbush alone, more than 1,000 homeowners had their properties put into the tax lien sale. More than half were for unpaid water bills.
It was a shock. And I said this was definitely a grave injustice.
Councilmember Chris Banks has submitted city legislation that he says would improve the notification process and remove water bills from being sold into a trust in the first place. Last year, state lawmakers tried to pass 2 similar bills, but they didn't go anywhere.
This is something that has to change. You can't play around with people's lives.
In response, the city said, "We will review the legislation being proposed and look forward to working with our city partners to continue supporting homeowners. And while we cannot comment on pending litigation, the city has implemented reforms to give property owners more time, information, and resources to pay their debts."
I give thanks for my lawyer and you guys for running to my aid. Without you guys, I couldn't make it.
Dan Krauth, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
It's a racket, man. That is a racket. And I'm almost for certain that there's somebody in the New York City government, somewhere in there, that knew that they could do this and they tossed it over to these quote unquote trust companies and said, hey man, I'm gonna turn you on. I'm gonna show you how to do it. I need a kickback when y'all sell this property. I put any amount of money on it at this point. But in East Flatbush, New York, over 1,000 homes have been caught up in tax lien sales. Over 1,000 homes have been caught up in tax lien sales, more than half, for nothing more than an unpaid water bill. Now, you guys seen the property. These aren't luxury properties. You know what I'm saying? These are working class, often minority neighborhoods, but some people consider the real estate to be prime. Some people consider where they are, although yes, their houses, they don't look like they're in the greatest condition, but they consider it to be prime real estate in the city, and its investor allies want to take the residents for pennies on the dollar, which is what they've been doing. Now, there is a local city councilman, who is finally pushing to ban the city from selling water debts to private trust and to fix its broken notice system, but this should have never been a thing in the first place. They put this thing up to vote and it's died twice. It never got through. How does this not happen? How does this bill not get through? You guys know why. Because there is somebody in that city council, there is somebody up there that voted on this that said, nah, let's let this thing happen because they're profiting off of it. They're profiting off of this. Y'all know why this isn't. Y'all know why that bill didn't pass. There are too many people that are profiting from this racket. This is easy money for these folks. They're making easy money off of homeowners who did everything right, paid their mortgages, maintained their homes, and lived quietly. And this isn't just about one man's house. It's about a city government powerful enough to take your property, overnight while criminals and squatters get rights and sympathy. Think about that. We covered a story, maybe a few months back, up in, I think it was Long Island, I believe. They had some squatters in the house and they couldn't get these people out. So think about this. They can come in and steal your home if you own it over a water bill. But if you just go and jump into somebody's house, I mean, it basically takes, an act of Congress to get you out of there. Like, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Ownership in New York City, it doesn't mean what it used to, obviously. The system protects insiders, not the citizens. And now with this Zoran Mandani character, who is an open socialist, on the verge of potentially becoming mayor, I mean, my assumption, things would only get worse. His agenda calls for more state control over housing and property. More state control over housing and property. Translation, fewer homeowners, more dependents, more control. And Fillmore Brown's story is the warning shot, a glimpse of what happens when greed, bureaucracy, and ideology replaces justice. This man worked his tail off his entire life, paid his dues, and still lost everything to a corrupt system that values power over the people. It's freaking ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. And he's not the only one. It's just his story, made it, to prominence, but there's a multitude of other people that are going through the same things. Yeah. And Shane, you're absolutely right. A $5,000 water bill, that's not, I missed it for a year. That's multiple years. Crazy. Wow. Shout out to the Energizer Bunny coming through with the $2 super chat. Says the guy calling them Republicans is ignorant. Yeah. After everything that we watched the Democrat Party do for the better part of 4 years. LJ said they could have just cut the water off. Yeah, they could have, but they didn't, because this is the racket. Let's let them run it up, run it up, run it up. We're never going to send a notice. We're never going to tell him that he owes the money. And once it gets so high, we'll sell off the trust. We'll sell it off. And then we'll sell it to these people, and then they'll give us the kickback, because once they get it, they'll take it. And I mean, that was the house that he had, or the place, that was a 3-unit building. There's a 3-unit building. That's big time. $1 million property they were able to basically snatch for $5,000. Now, again, I don't know if you guys agree with me here, and I would assume that he loves New York, but I would sue them people like, man, y'all keep that property, man. Give me my money, and I'm up out of here. I'm going south. Give me my money. I'm getting up out of here. I want to hear. Okay, hold on. Let me throw this up there. Weird Al. Is it Al-Anon Nation? Okay. Love your show. I have to disagree with you about New York's Mandani. Never would have gotten his foot in the political door if New Yorkers were actually smart people. Are you saying that New Yorkers aren't smart people? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying. I don't think all New Yorkers aren't smart, I don't think so. I think there's a plethora of New Yorkers that are pretty intelligent, but maybe they are, there's just more low IQ, low information voters up there. There's just happen to be more of them. Yuck said New York, New Jersey's hosting 8 matches, including the finals in the 2026 World Cup. That house will be on Airbnb charging $15K a night during the World Cup. Well, that was 3 units. So yeah, I guess you got a point there. Sheesh. Wow. I didn't realize that they were hosting the final. I knew they were hosting matches, but I didn't realize they had the final as well. Wow. All right, AD, take care, man. Yeah, yeah. You're pretty accurate there. Yeah, BlackRock, Blackstone, they've been buying up a lot all over the place. You're absolutely right. With that being said, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. With that being said, we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. But I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. Shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to you all. Thank you very much. And there was somebody that had asked me, about where I served at. I don't know if you're still here, but I'll answer the question. I was on the USS Wasp way back when, back in the day, out there in Norfolk. So, yeah. But appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up. Now, AD, I saw your last comment, and I want to toss this up here real quick. Hold up a second. Let me see. Where were you at? Did I miss it? Oh, okay. He says, and I got to get the heck out of Dodge. You are truly a low IQ hater, sir, if you think that. I'm assuming, I don't know if that was for me, but are you suggesting that more people in New York are low IQ? Or are you saying that most of the people in New York have a foothold as to what's going on? LJ, you a trip. Says she said come through with the $5 super chat. Says just posted in my family chat that I voted. My dad asked if I voted blue this time. Should I ignore or respond? Ooh. Chat. Hey, put it down in the chat. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Should she respond or should she ignore? Crystal said, Crystal wants to get the smoke. She wants the smoke. Crystal's choosing violence this morning. I don't know. If it's gonna get your father all ruffled up, man, don't do that. Just ignore it. Let it be. He knows deep down inside. If he has to ask that question, he knows what time it is. Look at you guys. Oh my goodness. All of y'all would respond. If he's asking that question, you know what time it is. You know he knows if he has to ask that question. Oh my goodness. Leslie said, hey, don't depends on how you think the answer will be received. Don't mess up Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all are a trip. Shout out to Natasha's Life with the $1 super sticker. Thank you very much. I would assume that he knows the answer. Aeon said, let it be. Silence is deafening. Yeah, it is. The silence would just kind of drive home. But yeah, he knows the answer to that question. He knows the answer to that question. Don't let politics, ruin the Thanksgiving holiday. I try not to have those kind of conversations. My sister and I, we're close. So we can have those conversations, with my parents. Growing up, to be honest with you guys, man, growing up, we never had conversations around politics. Never. I never heard my parents say anything politically. Honestly, growing up, I never heard it. I don't think, matter of fact, I did not have my first conversation with my mom politically was right before, maybe a few months before the 2020 election. And that was the first time I ever had a conversation with my mom or in reference to politics. We never had those conversations growing up. It was never we're black, we vote Democrat, you need to support this, that, and the third. We never had those kind of conversations. We never had those conversations. Now with my own children, I would say with my own children, I didn't have those kinds of conversations with them early on in life. As they got older, we started to have those conversations. As they got older, though, they were in high school, and my youngest son, I told you, my youngest son he went with me to vote for the first time last year, and we had conversations. And I've had some conversations with my oldest son, but it really wasn't something that dominated our lives because we never looked at the government is going to come save us. I always would tell my children all the time that, hey, you can be and do and have whatever it is that you want if you're willing to work for it. If you're willing to work for it, which are the kind of conversations that I used to have. My grandmother used to tell me that all the time. Anything worth having is worth working for. Anything you want, go work for it. Oh, be wise. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One of my really, really good friends is Jehovah's Witness, and they don't get involved in any of it. None of it. None of it. We talk probably about maybe, every couple of months or so we'll talk. And, I was talking to him, about what was going on politically. And he's like, bro, we don't get into all of that. And I was like, I forgot. Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate anything. No Christmas, no holidays, no birthdays, none of that. They don't get into what's going on politically, none of that. All right, Steve, take care, man. Steve said he's going to see everyone's favorite person, the dentist. I was just at the dentist last week. And, with these things in my mouth, I'm pretty, over the past couple of years, I've been at the dentist office. It seems like every couple of months. But I can honestly say growing up, we'd never had those kind of conversations. And, now my sister and I, we have those conversations. My little brother, I've talked to him a little bit. And even then, we still don't get into it too tough. It's not like that. Now, I have some uncles. One of my uncles, we've gotten into it pretty heavy because although he calls himself an independent, he votes blue no matter who. I'm an independent, but yet he continues to vote blue no matter who. It's ridiculous. But he's quick to tell you he's an independent, though. It's so funny, man. So funny. Let me see. Crystal said, my family was funny. Majority of the family was Democrat. My dad was the lone Republican at the time, and my grandfather was independent. Now my mom, dad, sister, kids, and I are the black sheep. Huh, interesting. I'm pretty much that, in my family. I would assume that, my siblings, my little brother, I don't think he's, politically astute enough to say that he's one thing or another. Although, he did vote for Kamala last year, he did tell me that. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, you should have talked to me before you did that. But that's so crazy. Yeah. Oh, Mike C. You'll see a lot of that. That's just like the video. It came out. We talked about it on the live stream on Friday. I chopped it up, re-put it out on Sunday. And it was like that lady, what's her name? Teslin Figueroa or something along those lines, talking about she had independent, but she had all the Democrat talking points. The way she was caping and moving the goalposts for the Democrats. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that will say, I'm no longer a Democrat, I'm an independent. But although they only know Democrat talking points, that's it. And they're quick to come out and tell you, hey, I'm not a Democrat, I'm an independent. No, the question to you, Shane, is Shane going to pull up for Bible study tonight? That's the question. You wasn't there last week, bro. You wasn't there last week, bro. So I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. I may pull up, I may not pull up. But you see, I keep the word nearby. Uh-huh. Yeah, Shane was like, I was there last night. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Shane, you be worried about the wrong things. Worried about the wrong things. Well, I wouldn't even do that, you know, if Shane wasn't trying to put me on blast. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the word. I'm there. Uh-oh. Let's see what B has to say here. B says, my black family says, see, that's your white half side. So I guess I'm the reverse Oreo sheep, whitest sheep among the black flock. Lord have mercy. Oh, man. Jasmine says she grew up being told to vote blue always. Then my sister and I changed to independent, but my sister should have stayed Democrat because she still thinks and believes them. I've been leaning right ever since. I hear that. I hear that. I'm glad. I honestly, you know, when I think back on it, I'm glad, you know, my parents, we never had political conversations. I'm glad. And the crazy thing is that what I know of today of what a liberal is and what a conservative is, my parents have lived an extremely conservative lifestyle. You know, I can say that I lived a pretty conservative lifestyle. I grew up in a 2-parent household. You know what I'm saying? You know, my parents worked. Eventually my pops, you know, started his trucking company and owned a business. And yeah, pretty conservative in the thinking and pretty conservative in the way that they live. And even today, they still live pretty conservative lives. Even today. But for whatever reason, continue to vote for these Democrats. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. But I do appreciate the fact that they never told us, hey, you gotta be this or you gotta vote this way. They never told us this. We never had those kind of conversations, and I can appreciate that. Allowed me to grow up, become an adult, and then, you know, figure it out for myself. Hey, Deb, you're out in Maryland? I didn't know that. Where are you located in Maryland, Deb? I did not know you were a Marylander. Are you trying to flee from the state too? Is it time to go? I noticed there's a good amount of houses for sale in my neighborhood that are starting to pop up for sale in my neighborhood. I need to be on that list as well. Shout out to, how do you say that? Is that Moark Chapters? Hopefully I pronounced that properly. Really enjoyed my first time in the chat. Thank you, wonderful folks in the chat. Shout out to you, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Glad you enjoyed yourself. Hopefully this is the first time, but hopefully it won't be the last time that you pull up. I'm with you there, Natasha's life. I am with you there. I don't care what others think of how I vote. I'll vote how I want my kids' future to be like. Absolutely. I've been saying that on this channel for quite some time, that this is not about us. The vote, everything that's going on, we should be focused on what kind of country are we planning to leave to our children, to our grandchildren, to our great-grandchildren. That's what this is about. And if you're not thinking along those lines, stop thinking in a year, in a 2-year sit. We got to start thinking and playing the long game like everybody else. People got to understand that the Communist Party, they've been planning what they're doing, what they have going on right now. They've been planning this for 100 years or more. We're so short-sighted. We're so short-sighted. We're so short-sighted. We're looking at things in 1- and 2-year blocks instead of thinking about generational. We got to think about the next generation and the generation after that. What type of nation are you planning to leave for them? Seriously. That was the other thing too, Michelle. We never had financial conversations either. We didn't talk politics and we didn't talk financials. That was never a conversation. I think there was one time I asked my mom how much money they made, and I borderline got cussed out. Hey, stay in a child's place. Which I don't agree with. I don't agree with it. I'm okay with not having political conversations, but I do think that you should be having financial conversations with your children. That's important. I think that's really important. You should be teaching your children about credit, how to save, how to invest. It's important. The type of careers, the direction that they should be thinking about to go in their lives. I think that is important. Now, you want to have some political conversations later on down the line. I don't have a problem with that. But I think the financial conversations, I think those need to be happening early as possible. My personal opinion. Shout out to B-Wise coming through with the $10 super chat. Love. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Now, I have a question for you guys in the chat. And shout out to Chester. He says his wife is an independent, but she also believes all the lies the lamestream media spews about President Trump. She also works in healthcare. How important to you all is it that your significant other believes the way that you guys believe? How important is it to you that the person that you decide to spend your life with, is on the same page with you financially, and not saying that they got to make the same amount of money, but how to handle the finances? How important is it that they're on the same page with you as far as their belief system? Are they believers in the Word of God? Do you think that is important to be with somebody that also believes the way that you believe? And how important is it to you for someone to be with someone that also believes in the manner that you believe in from a political standpoint? Do you think that it's okay that someone that is a Republican and the other person is a Democrat, do you think that is okay, that two people of different ideologies, for them to be together? Or do you think that, if you're already in it, I mean, it is what it is, but do you think that people should really start to think about that when they go to selecting a potential husband or a potential wife? I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts on that? Mike C said, I'm trying to tell my sister to get out of Maryland. Yeah, we're on that track. We're on that path. We're on that path as well. We're on that path. Sugar Shane, Maryland, be heavy on taxes. Get out of there. Yeah, the taxes are crazy, and they're only going up. That's the crazy thing. Oh, she's out in Rockville. Okay. Yeah, Rockville is nice. It's a nice area, Montgomery County, but super blue. Montgomery County is just north of D.C., super blue. A lot of people that live in Montgomery County probably work in D.C., super blue. Marcy Richards said, I need to know where to move, trying to flee Cali. I love that word, flee. It's better than run, better than sprint. When you're fleeing, oh yeah, you're trying to get up out of there. LJ, smart move. Ignore, don't be confrontational with pops. Be respectful of our elders. Even if they wrong, be respectful of our elders. Mm-hmm. Nanny said, I do not understand being conservative and voting Democrat. Yeah, I don't understand that one either. The lifestyle, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. Papa Don, I agree with you, but to be honest with you, if you are listening to actors, singers, entertainers, comedians, if you're listening to any of them for politics, for a political perspective, I think you're hustling backwards at this point. I think we all know that all of those people in that industry, they're all compromised. They're all bought and paid for. I don't think you should be listening to any of them. Most of them don't even have their personal lives in order. Why would you listen to them about? I wouldn't take advice. I wouldn't take advice from any of them about anything, to be honest with you. Hey, Carol, it's not just the Democrats. I mean, if you think about the communists, I don't know if you had a chance to read the Communist Manifesto, but I mean, these people, they play the long game. We're so short-sighted. Uh-oh, my little bowling ball came downstairs. I'm telling you, my dog, Shakir Aloysius, man, he comes downstairs like a bowling ball. Seriously. Seriously. Makes me laugh. Uh-oh. Kenny Cooper, we got to read this one. She says, my daughter talked to me a couple of weeks ago, and she told me how she realized that she was voting wrong. She did her research and learned how the Democrats are. I'm so proud of her. Absolutely. That's a proud dad moment right there. I would assume that you've been, giving her some insight and wisdom, but at the same time, people have to make their own choices, right? They got to do their own research, their own due diligence, and come up with their own conclusions. Sugar said his family had financial conversations, but they just told me to get out the room. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I got told that, dude, hey, stay in the child's place. Now, the thing is, at the time, I didn't know that we didn't have any money. I didn't know we were poor. So it's probably not the best question to ask when folks are trying to figure out how they're going to pay these bills, how much money you make. I didn't know any better. I was a kid, but ooh-wee. American Maggot Girl says, if you live in New York and you are fleeing, please, if you come to North Carolina, we are planning on keeping our state red. So leave your Democrat ideology in New York. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with Cali. If you are fleeing that place because it's so bad, please leave your politics there. Leave them right there. Leave them at the state line. Hunter said, finance conversations stress me out. Why? Why do they stress you out, Hunter? Duane Davis said, a lot of us are financially stuck and can't vote generationally. Yeah. Oh. Kirsten said, financial conversations may save a lot of relationships. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I think, if you're planning to get with someone and you plan on marrying this individual, I think the financial conversation should be a conversation that should be had. I remember there was a guy who was telling us he was engaged to this lady and they were really close to getting married. And he started asking about the finances, what her credit is like, so forth and so on. And come to find out, this lady was almost in $100,000 in credit card debt. How do you get $100,000 of credit card debt? For the life of me, I have no idea. But she was almost $100,000 in credit card debt. And he basically told her, he was like, yo, I can't do it. He broke the engagement off. He would not marry this chick with that. And her credit was shot. She got $100,000 in credit card debt. The credit was shot. He said she had boxes upon boxes of notices and things of that nature. Crazy. Steve says, if the Bible is taught right in the early years of children, unless they are operating in a pure rebellious state, they will figure the politics out on their own. They'll lean to vote Christ. Yeah, I would agree with that. Get with that. Crystal says she's having all the conversations in the house, all of them. Leslie said, financial conversations are important, but they don't need to know how much you make. They may tell their friends. Yeah, that's possible. But I think if you don't have any money, they may not need to know. They just need, I don't know, because I worked in a commission-based environment. I'm not afraid to have money conversations with any and everybody, to be honest with you. I do understand that you're not supposed to let your right hand know what your left hand, is doing. But I worked in an environment where everybody knew exactly how much everybody made because you could see the leaderboard. And if you knew what the commission structure is, who's making the money and who's not. Who's leading and who's making a lot of paper this year. And who's down at the bottom scraping, probably on their way out the door. You got a chance to see it. So, it's not a real taboo subject to me. So I would have conversations with my kids. Some of it is, to let them know, like, hey, I work hard for this, and I've worked my tail off to get to where we are. And some of it is I want to motivate. And I want to let them know that, hey, the opportunities are out there. Like, you can do this. Dad's doing it. And I'm giving you the game to help you, skip some of the bad choices or poor choices and bad decisions that I made early on in life. And I'm giving you the game to skip past some of the foolery if you follow my instructions. So I'm not 100% against financial conversations, even when it comes to around how much we make, how we go about doing it and how we handle the money. I wanted the kids to see what the bills look like so they understand, like, hey, when I say, nah, we're not getting no McDonald's, you're gonna make you something, you can get you a sandwich when we get to the house. They know why. They know why. I'm there with you on that, Nanny. I think be not unequally yoked. I think it's extremely important. I've seen so many people, and on Wednesday, we're going to talk about this on Wednesday evening on the evening show. I want to talk about it because there's a plethora of women out there that are liberals. They're upset because they can't find liberal men, and they're upset about it because it seems like there's a lot of young men that are single. They're conservative. They're more right-leaning, more conservative-leaning, and it makes complete sense, right? Makes complete sense. And there's women out there that are upset that they can't find a man out there that didn't or does not, support a conservative lifestyle. Crazy, but we're going to talk about that on Wednesday evening. But very difficult to be with somebody that's that you guys don't see eye to eye. And I think with the way things are right now, with as polarizing as politics is today, I think it's probably more important than ever to have a full understanding on where people stand at when it comes to God, where they stand politically, and it's where they stand financially. I think that's extremely important. You need to know people's spending habits, how much debt they have, how bad or good their credit is. You need to know, where their heart is. Is their heart aligned with the word of God? You need to know that. And you also need to know where they align politically. I think that's extremely important. I think it's extremely important. Mike C says, my wife isn't politically active, but she follows my lead in that space. Hey, I don't have a problem with that. You are her covering. And if she's not going to be active in it, yeah, she should definitely, follow your lead in that space. But honestly, I think she should be following your lead in every space, to be honest with you. That's just how I feel, and I don't want to hear anybody say, hey, why is a sexist pig out there? No, I feel like, men, we are the protectors, providers. We are the leaders. But leader not meaning a tyrant. Leader meaning we're here to serve. I'm here to serve my wife. I'm here to serve my children. I'm here to serve my community, my family, my business, so forth and so on. Leadership comes responsibility. People need to understand it's not just a title. Good leaders serve the people that they lead. That's the truth. Good leaders. Now, Sugar Shane, I'm surprised to hear this. No, I'm just messing with you, bro. But he said, my wifey is amazing. She's on the same page with everything in life with me. Outstanding. Let her pull up so we can talk to her. We've seen you. Put her on here so we can talk to her so we can see how accurate that is. Now, I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you. Shout out to Amber Young says, my husband and I are on the same side. Outstanding. I love it. I love it. Ed says, my wife should share my values if she is my helpmate. Find that out before the wedding. Absolutely. I'm there with you on that one, brother Ed. Uh-oh, we got to toss this one up here. Marla says, back in the day, my husband was a Republican. I was a Democrat. We canceled each other out, but now I am conservative, MAGA Republican. Huh, interesting. Interesting. How are you now? I got a question. Because you said back in the day, my husband and I. Please tell me, are you guys still married, or did that not work out? How'd that work? Are you still with this fella? Like he said, come back to the Detroit area. Okay, the D. Cost of living up there is really affordable up there in that area. It's just too daggone cold, bruh. Too cold up there. I'm sure you guys are used to it, but it is too cold. Okay. Papa Di said, we're independent and have voted different before it happens, but our love for one another is more important. That's awesome. Well, at least you guys aren't beating each other down, you know, with left and right stuff. That's good. Crystal says core values should be the same. Politics wasn't important back in the day, but in today's climate, we have to agree politically too. The left is crazy. Yeah. Kenny Cooper says, come back to Georgia. Nah, Kenny Cooper, bruh. I'm cool on Georgia, man. I'm cool on moving to Georgia. I do like the taxes. I like that state. I like the state income tax. It's the flat rate. I believe it's 5.24%. I do appreciate that. But yeah, I don't think I could do Georgia, especially the Atlanta area. Maybe, you know, I thought about Augusta at once upon a time. I did think about Augusta once upon a time. And, you know, I've thought about South, you know, maybe going a little further south. But I just can't find anywhere in you know, that I would say, hey, I could live here. You know, I just hadn't found it yet. American MAGA Girl says, if you are a couple with two different party affiliations, you are going to have a rocky relationship, I believe. Is there anybody in the chat that's in that situation right now? Is there anybody in the chat that's in that situation right now? Marcy Richards said, we can have different NFL teams, but not different morals, religious beliefs, or politics. I can get with you on that. Yeah, we can jeer each other on the teams. My wife don't even watch sports like that. I don't even think my wife has a I don't even say I don't think. She don't have a team. You know, we've gone to Falcons games. I put her in some Falcon gear, so forth and so on, but she don't even have a team like that. She don't even watch sports, you know. Leslie says, my boyfriend and I have difference of politically opinions, but he looks at things from a 20-year war veteran. Our perspectives are different, but he's not totally blue or red. Okay. All right. Interesting. LJ says, after your advice a couple of weeks ago, that question is less clear, have to be somewhat open. Perhaps they cross my path, so get themselves right and see the light. Amen. Okay. Dion says, it used to be okay, but nowadays, with the level of wickedness going on politically, I personally could not be in a relationship with the demon crap. Nope. I understand. I don't think I could either, to be honest with you. I don't think I could. I don't think I could be with somebody that believes the things that these people believe. I don't think I could. Hey, Mike C., there are a lot of people that live a conservative lifestyle, but vote Democrat. There's a lot of people that do that. You know who's buying them. Gladys said there's a lot of houses going on the market in my neighborhood in California, and they're selling. Don't know who's buying them. You know who's buying them? These large corporations. Large corporations are buying them. Take care, Sugar Shane. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. I gotta go do some do a little shopping for some groceries to go help out some folks. Again, if you guys are, I don't know if the grocery stores that you guys to, you know, if they're offering, you know, any opportunities for you guys to donate to some of the food pantries and things of that nature out there, man, please take advantage of those. please take advantage of those, and help. There are some people out there in need. It is an opportunity for those of us that are, members of the body of Christ to show up and show out, for these people. And, my suggestion is that you jump out there and, do what you can, do what you can to help these people. We're going to do the same, and get out there. Wifey's waiting on me. Now, I've heard good things about McDonough. My parents actually don't live too far away from McDonough, Crystal. They live right there on the border of Rockdale County and Henry County. So they're pretty much like right there on the border. And yeah, McDonough's kind of off the beaten path. It's off the beaten path for sure. All of that, going down in that area. Yeah. And I've thought about that as well. We'll see. We'll see. Tennessee, man, the cost of living is just expensive in Tennessee now. I've looked at Knoxville. Houses in Knoxville are expensive. Nashville, forget about it. And Memphis is a definite no for me. Definite no for me. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up today, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's always good to just be able to hang out with you guys for a little bit, read the comment section and see what's going on in the comment section. Thank you guys for pulling up. Shout out to all my ARP family members. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you all supporting the channel this morning. Yeah, Kenny, you're absolutely right. The traffic is terrible up 75. You're absolutely right there, man. The traffic's awful. It's awful. I don't know. Well, Florida's the state itself is on my list. I don't know the city wise, yet, but the state is on my list. Between that, I mean, yeah, that little region down there, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, those are there. Those are there. They're on my list, but we'll see. We'll see. I really like Rocket City though. The more I do the research on Rocket City, I like Rocket City a lot. Cost of living is super, super cheap, man. Super affordable, in Rocket City, man. Super affordable. Yeah, 75 goes all the way north. You take 75 from the south all the way up north. I enjoyed it as well, Deb. I still didn't hear where at in Maryland. You said you was out in Maryland. Where you at in Maryland? My Maryland folks, man, we might have to do a lunch meet and greet or something along those lines. I got a few folks here in Maryland. Not a lot, but I got a few folks in Maryland. We might have to do that. Well, we're going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Shout out to all my ARP family members. Thank you to the Blues, keeping things peaceful in the chat. I appreciate you guys doing what you do on a day-to-day basis. I know we can't get out of here, Papa Dot. We're gonna get up out of here now, though. We're gonna get up out of here. I got stuff to do. But oh, okay, the Rockville area. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. Oh, you're one of those rich folks. Rockville. Those people out there got money. They got that cashola. Those Rockville folks. One of my guys live out there in Rockville. Y'all got some money out there. Y'all rich. Y'all not like Bible study. Or Bible study. I'm sitting there reading that sugar shame. Crystal Wise said he will be at Bible study. I may be there. It depends. I'm playing pickleball today. So it depends on, what time I wrap up with my pickleball this morning or this afternoon. It's pickle. Hey, see, Crystal, look at that. Crystal knows. Crystal knows. I play pickleball at least 3 days a week, typically Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I got to get out the house, man. Get my exercise. Rich folks out there in Rockville, though. But I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys very much. Shout out to the Blues. Shout out to everybody that supported the channel financially this morning. Thank you guys as well for supporting what we're doing over here. I do appreciate you guys, man. Hunter, the Bible study, yeah, she is on TikTok, but she's also on YouTube. I think she does a simulcast or a dual stream, something along those lines. So, Lord willing, we'll be back at this thing tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace. Y'all take care, man. God bless.
We won't stop. I won't quit. Stand for the truth. No counterfeit. Real ones rise. Let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies. Let the darkness live.